Welcome back to the Palace at Auburn Hills. Bob Popple along with Al Bernstein on the deuce. Our main event still to come, the junior middleweight bout between the former two-time WBA welterweight champion Mark Breland and the veteran from Oklahoma City, Buck Smith. Buck Smith with 180 professional wins, 190 professional fights, not counting the 22 no decisions. He's busy.
He actually averages about 20 matches a month. You may say, how's that possible? He fights. He goes throughout the Midwest and boxes. He never spars, except for a big match like tonight. He will get some sparring in. He just boxes.
He says that that's where you incur most of the damage, in hard sparring. He says he stays in shape by doing a lot of running.
Yeah, and his theory is that he fights pretty decent guys, not killers, but decent guys that can give him a go in these matches in the Midwest. He has had problems, however, Bob, when he has stepped up to big matches like tonight. Probably the thing in his favor is the fact that nobody knows what to expect from Mark Breland and how much he'll have to offer.
Well, Buck Smith did a pretty decent job of sparring and had some good competition getting ready for Breland.
He had Ronnie Essett, a former amateur champion and a very good professional, a tall, lanky fighter. He could not have found a better sparring mate, and he hopes that that will help him solve the style of Mark Breland.
Buck Smith has fought in 20 different states. Mark Breland has won championships. The Brooklyn, New York native at 33 years of age. Boy, he's been around a long time.
It is amazing. One fight in the last 5 years, and when you mentioned that he won the gold medal in 1984, that was a long time ago, and yet here is Mark Breland trying it again and hoping that he can recapture some of that lost glory.
Working with Emmanuel Stewart, Mark Breland was knocked out by Jorge Vaca in 1991. Looked like that was it, but he's back. He knocked off Ricardo Smith in New York on January 27th, and he feels that Emmanuel is bringing him back to his old style.
Yeah, and it was interesting. He was honest. We asked him if he felt comfortable in that one comeback fight. He said, not completely. He said, but I feel a little bit better now in sparring, and I'm hoping that I will be more comfortable here against Buck Smith.
And he also hopes to continue his career in the movies. Spike Lee gave him a call yesterday.
And I guess a win tonight could open up some new scripts for him.
Mark Breland, the 1984 Olympic gold medalist, two-time world champion, would like another championship shot. He's fighting in the junior middleweight division. Here's our ring announcer, Wally Jackson.
Ladies and gentlemen, Budweiser, the king of beers, brings us our main event of the evening. This is 10 rounds of boxing in the junior middleweight division. Our referee, the man in decision from Detroit, Sam Williams. Introducing first in the blue corner. As a professional, he has 183 wins. 9 losses, 3 draws, 1 no contest, 121 knockouts. He weighed in at 154.5 pounds from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. They call him Tombstone. Here is Buck Smith. And in the red corner, ladies and gentlemen, as a professional, he has 31 wins, only 3 defeats with 1 draw, 23 wins by way of knockout. Former Olympic champion, he weighed in at 154.5 pounds. Proudly from New York City, I give you Mark Breland.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for the Mark Breland Buck Smith bout. Breland 3 years older. He has a distinct height advantage and 9 inches in the reach department. Both fighters weighed in at the same weight. Here are the rules as governed by the state of Michigan. Standing 8 count is in effect. 3 knockdown rule in effect. Fighter can only be saved by the bell in the final round, and only the referee can stop the fight.
Take a look at the keys to victory for these boxers. I think for Breland, the key is to keep Smith at the end of his jab. The way to do that is to double with the jab. He must use angles, even if he doesn't use all of this huge ring. For Buck Smith, move your head coming in. Don't get hit with those jabs. And then use the double left hook. It's a very good weapon for Smith, and even he admits he doesn't use it enough.
The referee is Sam Williams, and we begin round number 1. Mark Breland and Buck Smith.
And you know, there is a lot of intrigue here as we get ready to watch this. Just what does Mark Breland have? There is no way for any of us to know how much he will have left, what he will be. You see the huge height and reach advantage, but Buck Smith wants to get in where he can work on the inside and the body and the head.
Well, Mark says he wants to move and use his jab, and obviously with this height and reach advantage, he should be able to do that.
Now, what Buck Smith must do, a moment ago we saw him throw a wild left hook just to the head. The reason to throw the double left hooks is, if you are a hooker, when you touch the guy to your, well, you know what I mean, a left hooker, let's put it that way. When you touch the guy with the left hook to the body, it makes that left hook to the head that much more effective.
This is where I guess Breland does not want to be, against the ropes, with Smith on the inside. Mark says he's fighting now with no pressure. He's fighting it because he enjoys it.
He is using the ring very well right now, Breland. If he can continue to do this over the whole course of a match, he'll be in business. Now, you see there, Smith missed with that big left hook over the head. He should have thrown that one to the body. Mark Breland is showing you that he has a good arsenal of punches. He always did when in his glory days, but he didn't use the left hook as much as probably he might have.
Breland has recorded 9 first-round knockouts in his career, many of those coming early in his career.
Smith needs to be a little less one-dimensional. While he wants to throw those hooks, he can't just be winging left hooks entirely. He's got to jab his way in as well.
1 minute to go in round 1. Breland just tosses Smith aside. Mark, one of the real good guys in boxing. Actually, both of these fighters are just as nice as they come.
Oh, they really are. And they come from different places, don't they? Mark Breland, a gold medalist, was touted for greatness from the beginning. Buck Smith has had to literally build his career from scratch over the years. No one expected anything of him. And at the age of 30, he's carved out a nice career, but has never been able to take that step up in a match. By the way, a very impressive first round for Mark Breland. Just what he probably needed for his confidence at this point.
The body shots, the left hooks to the body, have been very impressive.
And I think he's also created some swelling around the left eye of Buck Smith already.
Final seconds of round number 1, scheduled for 10. Mark Breland and Bud Smith on the deuce. Welcome back to the Palace at Auburn Hills. Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein. We begin round number 2 in this 10-round junior middleweight bout between Mark Breland and Buck Smith. Breland in the white and gold trunks, the tombstone in the black.
Now, Sam Williams is going to have to play a role here. He's warning Buck Smith. Let me tell you something. The guy he should be warning is Mark Breland, who's holding. So if he's going to let Breland hold all the way on the inside here, it's going to be a tough night for Buck Smith. The knockout ratio is similar. Clearly, Mark Breland has faced tougher competition than Buck Smith overall. And, of course, has had many fewer fights.
Breland had a knockout of Lloyd Honeyghan among his 23 knockouts. 6 have come in the second round.
Breland had a huge first round, landing 44 punches to only 9 of Smith. Smith only threw 20 punches in the first round. But see, they feel that the pressure, and that's just a slip, of Smith will get to Mark Breland. Sean Gibbons telling him in the corner, just don't let up with that pressure.
You mentioned these two fighters come from very different paths. Buck Smith has carved out some 270,000 miles on his automobile, traveling around the country in making these 190 fights.
And that's just on their Honda Civic. They got another car that they use occasionally, too. Yeah, he has gone all around the United States, boxing literally a couple times a week. Now, he's starting to slip the right hand of Breland a little bit. But Breland doing a nice job of keeping that jab out there, and it keeps Buck Smith at bay. Now, here's where Smith has to work, and, of course, Breland wants to hold him there. Smith is really not doing enough work to the body. Not even close to enough.
How does Smith get inside to just roughhouse?
Well, one thing he's got to do is jab his way in, which he's not doing. He's only thrown 2 jabs in this round. So, obviously, Buck Smith needs to jab his way in. And once he's there, he's got to square himself up to Breland so he can rip those hooks to the body and head. He's not doing it. Again, the wild left hook over the top. Buck Smith is not doing what he assured us he was going to do earlier, and that is throw the double left hook. And Breland is taking advantage of that.
And we get a timeout here.
You stay right there. Go right there. You got 1 point.
Point deducted for something from Buck Smith for what we don't know.
Go to the corner. Stay there.
Sam Williams deducting the point.
Buck Smith looked down at us as if, what was it? I don't know either.
Final 10 seconds of round 2. We'll try to find out from the referee as we get set for round 3.
What was the point taken away?
From high above the ring at the Palace at Auburn Hills, Bob. From high above the ring at the Palace at Auburn Hills, Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein. 25 seconds of round number 3. Mark Breland knocks out Buck Smith. Mark is standing by with Al.
Mark, this was only your 2nd fight in 5 years, and I have to ask you honestly, were you even wondering how effective you might be tonight? I know you've been looking good in sparring, but there had to be a few questions in your mind.
Oh, just a little bit. You know, I felt good tonight. First of all, I'd like to say, I'd like to thank God for giving me the strength and say hello to my son, Mark Jr. I felt great tonight. It was just a matter of, you know, him coming at me, winging punches, and just get my shots together. I seen him work. I seen a tape of him. He got hit with a body shot and got hurt. So I was throwing a lot of body shots. Then Emmanuel said, stop throwing to the body. Go to the head. Stop going to the body because you're starting to wing a little bit.
You did land some very good left hooks downstairs, and in a way, maybe that set up the fact that you were able to land the left hook as a counterpunch when he came in.
Right. You know, he caught me with a good right hand, and I went back. And so when I threw the uppercut, I guess, you know, I was going to the body so much, so I shortened it up, came up with the right uppercut, and it came with the left hook, and it caught him.
You counterpunched extremely well, and of course, Buck is the kind of fighter who will come forward and will pressure you, as he did in this bout. Was not able to really land his left hooks as he wanted. Were you conscious of that being his main punch?
Oh, yeah, definitely, because in training, I was getting caught with a lot of left hooks. So I was sparring with Michael Clark, and he was catching me with a lot of left hooks. So I seen the tape of Buck, and he was throwing a lot of left hooks. Buddy McGirt was telling me about the same thing. So I was consciously working on the left hooks. So I noticed he kept going to his left, to throw the left hook. So I kept going to my left, so he can wing it, and so I can catch him off of that.
Well, I know you'll enjoy taking a look at the knockout again, Mark. You can comment for us. And I know you've done some commentary, so you can just take it away.
Oh yeah, I was going back, and he was going down, so I threw the right uppercut right here. No, well, not yet. He left and right up, left uppercut, boom, right there. And I was doing, I was stepping back. I threw the right uppercut, put his head right in position, right here. Right here, right uppercut, boom, head in position. No, well, here we go again. Right uppercut, boom, left hook, boom, right there.
You turned that left hook extremely well, and you did something no one has done in over 190 pro fights. That's knockout Buck Smith.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, I feel a little bit like Tommy Hearns. Nobody ever knocked out Duran. And here
there you go.
Matter of fact, I was watching that tape all week, Duran and Hearns, and I'm just working on I felt strong tonight, so I wanted to go out there and look impressive, and I did.
Very quickly, before we get to Buck Smith, I want to ask Emmanuel Stewart, what's next for Mark?
Well, we're looking at possibly fighting on the Riddick Bowe card in Madison Square Garden in July.
Very good.
And then they promised he would have another ESPN2 show.
Well, we'll see him again. That's terrific. Okay, Mark, congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to say hello to George Washington, my trainer back at home. I'll be home in a minute, Joe.
All right, great win. Let's turn to a guy now who has been a great guy for us to have on the show. Very disappointing evening for you, Buck. You've never been knocked out before. You walked into the perfect left hook.
I did. I didn't even see it coming, Al. And those are the ones that you get knocked out on, the ones that you don't see coming. You can handle the ones that you see coming because you're setting yourself, you're getting yourself in that mode to take a shot. But when you don't see them coming, you just walk right into it and bow. You're out. 10 is gone.
You were not able to do what you wanted to do, which was work the body when you got on the inside. You ended up throwing a lot of wild punches and getting off balance, and in a way that contributed to getting knocked out, didn't it?
Yes, it did, Al. I was trying to sit back and wait on him to come in and counter underneath and then come over the top of the left hook. And it just didn't happen that way. He caught me before I caught him. He caught me as I was coming in, and I mean, after that, it's lights out. You know, congratulations to Mark Breland, and I hope he have a very prosperous career starting over again, starting back at the top again.
Were you shocked, Buck, at the power that he showed you? Because you've been hit by some pretty good punchers.
Actually, the power comes. I don't think he's that much of a puncher. It's just those ones you don't see that catches you off guard, and that's the one that hit me. He caught me off guard. I was trying to get into the mood of things. I didn't have time enough to counter his shots, to pick him out, to see what he was going to do. He's a very good fighter. He's still a good fighter, but I think he just needs to pick it up a little bit more, which you hardly can tell in this fight here because it was over so fast.
Well, thanks for your effort tonight and for also the other good efforts you've given us here on ESPN.
Thank you, Al, and I would like to wish all the folks back at home I'm okay, everyone, and y'all have a good day.
All right. Thank you, Buck. Great guy, Buck Smith, as is Mark Breland. And Mark Breland made a statement tonight, didn't he? Let's go back to Bob Papa at ringside.
Mark Breland gets his 24th knockout. He stops Buck Smith. 25 seconds of round 3. Earlier, Mike Clark was the unanimous decision winner. When we come back, we'll move to the cruiserweight division. Undefeated Mike Suska as Boxing on the Deuce continues.